Hello everyone, and welcome to the Narcissistic Abuse and Recovery Care Network. My name is Dean and I'm your host. Today we'll be broaching episode 3, part 2, entitled Understanding the Narcissist's Mind. This will be a continuation of part 1, and we'll just be discussing some of the other things related to narcissists and how they conduct themselves and how their mind works. So just to continue from the last video, first thing I want to say here is that when you're dealing with a narcissist on pretty much any level, one of the most important things you have to remember is that nothing is real with a narcissist. There is nothing real about them when they're talking to you and they're proclaiming love for you, or they're telling you, hey, you know, we're going to accomplish this in our lives in an upcoming period of time, whatever that is. They're pretty much just bullshitting you, or future faking you, as we sometimes refer to that as. Nothing about them is real. Love to them in their minds at the time that they're doing to you very often is real when you're dealing with certain levels of narcissists. For instance, the middle level or middle grader or something of this nature. But quite often the greater or ultra level narcissist is aware, or can be aware, that they are basically just future faking you or bullshitting you, and what they're saying to you is really the words are coming out of them only for the purpose of gaining fuel from you in some manner, because this, of course, is ultimately their goal in life. So with anything that they do with you as far as love or care or anything of this nature, pretty much everything is a show. It's a show to gain fuel off you. It's even a show with their children. Often when they are in a situation where they have children, they will make extra efforts to show off their children in some particular way. Oh, look at my son Johnny. He's a football player and this and that and whatever. And they do this often to gain fuel from the people around the child as well. They may be doing it for the purpose that the child may enjoy a sport or learning an instrument or something of this particular nature. But the tertiary sources that are around that child are where they gain the fuel from and where they gain the attention from. And a true clinical narcissist of middle, greater, ultra level or something of this nature, but even the lesser ones, because of the way their brains are and the way their brains have been programmed through abuse and such in those formative years before the age of 10, they have completely rewired their brains, so they really don't know even how to love their children in a realistic way. Everything is for show. Everything is to manipulate someone in some particular way to gain fuel. Everything is related to the supply of narcissistic fuel that they need. And of course, when you're not going along with any of their plans in any particular way, they're just imposing any type of control over you when they're not in agreement with you, for the purpose of gaining some type of control that they can have over you. Everything revolves around this. So literally nothing is really real with them like this. You cannot trust anything that a narcissist says. You can't trust their behavior. I know for myself there are many instances with my narcissist that we're dealing with in these episodes of the N.A.R.C.N network, that with her she would assert all different kinds of control, or try to anyway, over the situations. Now, I'm not a reactionary person in the first place, so sometimes it would be hard for her, I think, to assert things to me, because I don't react in an angry way. I don't freak out with people. I'm very controlled for the most part in my life. And this sometimes becomes a problem for narcissists depending on who they are as well too, because I don't give back negative fuel. I probably give back positive fuel a lot of the time. But when you're giving back positive and negative fuel to the narcissist, then they're getting a double dose of both, depending on what it is they're after. They really don't care what type of fuel it is. They're just looking for attention. They're just looking for fuel to fuel them and to give them the high that they need in their daily life. So when you're dealing with them, it doesn't matter really what you're doing. It matters more to them just that you're providing them with that fuel source. And as far as how they get it, they will resort to a number of different things to do to actually get it that sometimes involve, you know, even provoking arguments or causing something to happen with you that you don't like, simply so that they can exert some type of control over you to gain that narcissistic fuel. Now, when you're dealing with a narcissist too, sometimes when you're in discussion with them or whatever happens to be going on with them, talking wise or whatever, depending on what it is you're talking about, they will display empathy to you about certain situations. Again, their empathy that they put forth to you 99% of the time, depending on the level of narcissism or the level of narcissist that they are, they're giving you cognitive empathy. And what cognitive empathy is, just they've learned to mimic real empathy with people for the purpose of using that, again, to gain fuel or to gain control over a person. They're not really concerned about you. They're just putting forth false empathy towards you in order to get something off you. This is what their goal really is. And when you don't give them back any fuel, pretty much they will go into an almost immediate devaluation period in some way, where they'll start devaluing you because you're not giving them back the fuel that they need. And this, in my experience with the narcissists I've dealt with, and the information that I've gained through research, is almost an immediate thing with them, depending on the level of narcissist they are. Greater narcissists may try a little bit more to get that fuel off of you and put you, and perhaps delay the devaluation period that they may go through with you. But as a whole, they have a tendency to put you into a devaluation period almost immediately when you're not giving them back what they need. Now, narcissists are known to be pathological liars. They lie about everything. They lie to cover up what's going on. They lie about who they are. They lie about how they behave. They lie about everything. They don't have any real moral codes within them, except the moral code that governs them. And very often when you're talking to a narcissist, the things that you'll see out of them is that they will talk to you about things that would seemingly be moralistic in nature. But very often you'll get comments out of a narcissist. My own narcissist did this to me, where they would be like, well, you know, I don't have to live by anybody else's rules. I govern myself by the way I see fit, and or things of this nature. Very often their morality is horrible. They're cheaters on their spouses and on the other appliances that they may be involved with as well too. They're saying I love you to you, but they're saying I love you to another appliance. They're saying I love you to their husband or their wife. They're just lying constantly to everyone just to hide what they are. They are literally, I'm going to coin a term that Dave from Narcology Unscripted actually used, and say hi, Dave, because I love your show, Dave. Dave basically described them as the fact that they're empty meat suits, and I think that this is a great description, because they go around using people like they mean nothing, pretty much. When you're involved with a narcissist, you don't really mean anything to that person. That person is out there for their own agenda. They don't care really what you want, except to put the impression into you that they care about you, or that they care about what you're thinking, or anything else of that nature. They don't. They don't give a crap about what you're thinking, or how you feel, or if they're hurting you, or if they're harming anybody around them. They are just after that fuel source in that way. And sadly, when you're dealing with a clinical narcissist of any level like this, these are people who are now programmed. Their brains are programmed. They will never ever be normal again. They cannot be rehabilitated by therapy or any other means. They will be like this the rest of their lives. So some narcissists, like Professor Sam Vaknin, he is aware of his narcissism, self-aware of his narcissism, and because of this, some narcissists are able to work through this because they realize what they are. But many greater level narcissists don't even realize what they are, and mid-levels and lesser ones certainly may not realize what they're really doing. And often when they do, they're not willing to acknowledge it anyway. They're not willing to do anything about it, because in their brains, their agenda simply is to gain fuel from anyone and everyone in any way possible at any cost. And they don't really care who they do this to, or what means they use to do this to people. Their goal in life is to just serve themselves, and any concern or empathy that you see out of them is never real. Love out of them is never real. They don't understand what real love is, unfortunately, because their brains have been rewired through the trauma that they've endured in their formative younger years. Their brains no longer process anything the way a normal person's brain does. So they cannot feel empathy. They cannot feel love in a normal sense. They do not understand loyalty. They don't understand certain values, certain moral values. They lack real compassion. These are all things that you're suffering through if you're dealing with a narcissist, and there is no way to fix this with them. Even narcissists that are self-aware realize that there is no way to fix this. They can just work through it in some way, but most narcissists don't even do that. So this has been episode 2 of knowing the narcissist, or understanding the narcissist's mind. We're going to have a part 3 in this series shortly coming up. So I'll just tell you guys, stay tuned for that, and we'll have that episode up coming very shortly, and we'll go into some other details about the narcissist's mind and how they think and work. Good day, everyone.